This week, we're examining just a few verses from the book of Genesis, but they are jammed-packed full of significance. So following the account of God creating the world, we read about his creation of human beings. And in just a handful of verses in Genesis 1 and 2, we're given insights regarding life's biggest questions. Where did we come from? What makes us human? Well, last week, Pastor Jim discussed how the decades-old tension between science and faith is really ill-conceived and unnecessary. Indeed, the more advanced our scientific discoveries become, the more we are realizing how incredibly complex our world is and how a creator must have been behind it. So in other words, to be a Christian does not mean that you have to check your brains at the door. Instead, God intends for us to worship him in spirit and in truth, with our hearts and with our minds. In fact, Jesus said these words, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind." As we come to the topic of the origin of the human race, Christians do not have to blanketly reject all premises of evolution and naturalism, nor do we have to accept them without any criticism. Instead, we can and we should be open to how God might have created human beings, while still holding firm to the fact that God did it. But let me ask you a pair of challenging questions. How familiar are you with what the Bible says regarding creation? And how familiar are you with the scientific findings on the same topic? You see, Christians are often seen as ignorant or emotional or unscientific, in part because of false and unfair caricatures, but it's also due in part to the fact that when confronted with scientific evidence regarding the origin of the universe and of humanity, we are often found without an intelligible response. And simply saying that the Bible says God did it, it's not enough in our post-Christian, postmodern context. So, throughout the course of this series, consider taking notes, not only for your own faith, but also so that you know how to articulate your faith and your mind to others. And if you're still wrestling with all of this yourself, I want to challenge you to spend time reflecting on the book of Genesis and the answers that it could hold for your life.